Alright guys, so now we're all set, ready to go. I've got that black bean and rice, I've got my tortilla chips with my queso, chicken, veggies, ranch, and my fruit. I'm ready to go. So, one thing, I don't really know how it started, why it started. I come from the Pacific Northwest. I was born in the center of Washington. I grew up a little closer to Seattle, so I've been pretty fortunate in having great seafood all my life. So another thing that I can promise you is not going to happen is I'm never going to dip crab legs or scallops or anything that does not belong in cheese into cheese sauce. So the only thing that I really plan on doing for this is like a classic plain tortilla chip. Because that does not belong on crab. Hey Pickles, go. Sorry, my dog's all up in my business. Pickles, go to the hall. Go to the hall. I've got two dogs. This little one, this is Pickles. She's gonna be 3 in March, and she still acts like I've taught her nothing. And then that big boy over there, that's Bubba. Bubba's the biggest angel dog you'll ever meet. Alright, so let's try this black bean stuff. Like I said, I've seen it a lot with noodles for especially like Korean mukbangers, and I thought that that's what I was getting, but I'm more excited to try the actual sauce than the noodles. I can have noodles any day of the week. Well, it's really hot in terms of temperature. Spice, no. It's super savory, like quite salty. That could just be because it's like a prepackaged, like, easy meal. But I do like the flavor. I'll probably like it better if it's not scorching my tongue. This is my first coffee of the day. I don't know how I got here without, it's like almost 4. Yeah, it's almost 4 o'clock, and this is my first coffee of the day. How I'm doing that with a 6-month-old, I don't know. I think it's because I was also hoping to maybe take a nap, and so I kind of avoided drinking coffee for a while. But now it's 4 o'clock and I need it. I apologize for the food not being a little bit more exciting. I didn't really fully plan out, obviously, like a themed mukbang. I kind of just grabbed a few things in the grocery store while I was there looking for stuff for dinner last night. So it kind of is a modge podge of things to taste and try today. And I guess also, like, in terms of the amount of food, it's not going to be a traditional mukbang because I don't want to waste any food. So I don't want to prepare a bunch of stuff and then not eat it all. And I also, you know, I also just want to eat till I'm full. I don't want to eat until I'm uncomfortable. Pickles, go. Go to the hall. Go lay down. Go to the hall. Go to the hall. Good girl. Pickles, go. Good girl. Because I do feel very fortunate in that I'm able to get food like this, but I also know that there's people that can't. So I don't want to, like, you know, make that a central thing. So if you have any ideas that you want to see in terms of a theme, let me know. I'm interested to hear it. I've seen a lot of videos, not a lot of mukbangs, but I've seen a lot of videos about, like, pregnancy cravings, and I didn't really have a lot of pregnancy cravings. If I did, they were like normal foods, just at weird times. Like in my first trimester, I really wanted like bell peppers all the time. So I would get like a bagel and cream cheese at a sandwich shop and then ask them to put like thinly sliced bell peppers on it. Went through a yogurt phase, a cottage cheese phase. We always had pickles in the house, but I never really ate them. Oreos were probably one of my biggest ones. I ate so many Oreos when I was pregnant and throughout my pregnancy. So that could be a fun one, I guess. If there's any mamas on here, I'm curious to know your pregnancy cravings. And maybe I'll try them in with my pregnancy craving mukbang video. Sorry. I almost had to make a slurping sound because there was a piece of rice like stuck in the very middle of my lip and it was about to fall, so I was trying to save it. I will be working on my setup as well. It's not very glamorous right now. I kind of strategically have my bowls here so you can't really see how messy it is behind me. It's not like super gross messy, it's just 2 adults and a 6-month-old baby in a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. And when we were moving in, it was kind of when COVID-19 was kind of settling in and like kind of coming to its peak of like first lockdown, because I'm in Washington and now we're currently in our 2nd round of lockdown. So we didn't really know what was going to be happening with my job. I was a server bartender. Yeah, that stinks. But there's also a couple reasons for that. So I was working at a really awesome distillery and restaurant. So we made vodka, gin, and aquavit. So it was really fun because I got to learn the bar. I got to learn about distilling. We bottled our own product. It was just a lot of different like elements that I got to learn, and that's usually like when I switch jobs, that's what I look for, is to, you know, have a full new learning experience. I've done fine dining, I've done casual dining, I haven't done any fast food, but I've done a lot of different types of restaurants, and I've done anything from hosting to being a back waiter, kind of like a busser, I guess. I've waited tables, I've bartended now, so I mean, I feel like I've kind of seen a lot of, I've even managed at a fine dining Indian spot, which was a very interesting experience. I'm very grateful for the experience, but it was interesting, because I don't think a lot of people think of fine dining when they think of Indian food, so it was a very different bracket, I guess. So yeah, we're in 2nd round of COVID, 2nd round lockdown of COVID. I did lose my job, but also because of that, and I'm sure some people are curious, you can kind of see that I have this like dent, kind of. So when I was pregnant, I started getting treated or, you know, screened for preeclampsia, which is kind of like high blood pressure brought on by pregnancy. And so they started screening me for that. Turns out I had a ruptured aneurysm in my head, so I had to, maybe this is better for a different day. Long story short, the burst vessel or burst artery in my brain, it was pumping blood into my brain, which caused swelling, so my brain was pushing up against my skull, and they had to kind of take out a portion of my skull so that I would stop having seizures and there wouldn't be any more damage, essentially. And so they took that out. I had to wear a helmet for like 2 months because it was literally just like brain and scalp. Like there was nothing there, so I had to wear the helmet in case like I bumped my head. which was a very crazy experience of my life. But anyway, so when they did put the skull piece back in, because I have it now, you can kind of see my scar there. It comes all the way back down and up and around the side of my ear here. So this side there's no dent because they had to actually cut the muscle that moves my jaw, and they said it was a very healthy muscle, which is why they had to cut it in the first place. But they had to cut the muscle in order to put the skull piece back in, which is medicine and science is crazy. But it was successful. But that's why I have kind of this divot right now, is because my muscle essentially has to like build back up. And comparing one side to the other, you can tell that it was a very healthy muscle. Hey Pickles, I need you to go to the hallway. Go. Good girl. Don't act like you're hungry. I feed you. Go. Go. Thank you. She's being a little pill right now because she just got a bath. I wasn't really planning on talking this much throughout the food, because I know some people like more of a quiet meal time. I was just, thought I might answer a question that was potentially on your mind. Also, that's why my hair is short. Okay, now I'm going to be quiet and I'll eat. Even though it's salty, I would 100% get that again. It was delicious. But I do need water or something to drink now. Cheers. Put this out of the way. Should probably get my protein in. Part of my healing process for this was I have to eat 100 grams of protein every single day. They didn't really give me like an end date, so I'm just kind of going with it. And for the record, not all of my meals are going to look like this. The chicken's going into ranch, not the cheese sauce. Got ranch on my Oreo. I'll get those out of the splash zone.